Oh, check out this nice kokanee. Welcome to another edition of Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table. And today we're going to take all these kokanee, smoke them up, and make smoked kokanee sandwiches. It's going to be delicious. Let's head on back to the house. Outdoorsmen have been providing fresh food for American family tables for generations. Hunting and fishing is a way of life for our family, and we enjoy cooking delicious fish and game meals. We want to share our recipes with you. This week we are making smoked kokanee sandwiches along with a fresh cucumber salad, colorful new potatoes, and fresh peach spritzers. Peaches and cream end a wonderful meal. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table. Hey everyone, today I'm going to make smoked kokanee because Vicki and I tomorrow get to go over to our buddy Tim's place at the Whitewater Lodge, and I'm going to make her smoked kokanee sandwiches. Now, one of the things you'll notice right away with our kokanee is that they really vary in the color. You have some that are really dark red and some that are light, and it doesn't affect the flavor at all, and it kind of depends on the lake that you're in and what they're eating. Kokanee that eat the mysis shrimp often have this really dark red color. So in order to make the smoked kokanee, the first thing I'm going to do is just cut them up into small pieces. So really all I need to do is just cut these in half, approximately. The bigger ones I might do in thirds, and place them in a bowl. Okay, here's my last one. Get it into the pan. I'm just going to set this aside. Okay, now we're going to start on the brine. And here are the ingredients that you'll need for your brine. You'll need a half a cup of sugar, a half a cup of salt, a half a cup of honey, a cup of soy sauce, a couple tablespoons of Harrod's Cookhouse lemon and dill seasoning, and about a gallon of water. So I'm going to take my ingredients and put them in a large bowl that we can use to brine the fish. So we're just going to put in these ingredients: salt and sugar, the honey, soy sauce, some of our lemon and dill. We're going to use this a little bit later as well, but I like to put a little bit in the brine just for some added flavor. And then to start out, what I like to do is take about a pint of warm water and pour that in to start with. And this will just help dissolve quicker the honey, the sugar, and the salt. And then we'll pour in the cold water. This is cold water, so I'll have to add about 2 of these. Okay, there's the remaining water. And then all we do is add our fish. There we go. Make sure they're good and separated and well coated in the brine. All the fish are submerged in the brine. All I need to do now is get it in the fridge and wait about 3 to 4 hours, and then it can go on the smoker. Well, I've got all my chores completed outside, and the kokanee's been sitting in the refrigerator for about 3 to 4 hours. I tend not to like mine very salty, so if it sits in the brine for quite a while, I like to rinse it. So every piece, I just give it a little rinse. Okay, that's my last 2 pieces. One thing you'll notice is that I'm putting them on a rack, and that's to let all that excess water kind of drip off. I'm going to go ahead and put these on my pellet stove. I have it set on smoke out there, and then I'm going to season it up and close the lid. I really like alder. So that's what I use for my pellets, is alder wood. Some people like apple, other kinds of hardwood, but for me, alder is the best with fish. So that's the smoke that I'm going to use. But we'll go ahead and just place all the kokanee on the grill. So the last thing I need to do is season them up. And for that, we use our lemon and dill fish seasoning, which I used in the brine, but now I like to have a little bit of it on the top as well. So this is just to sprinkle it on. Well, it's been about 3.5 hours, and I've checked the fish a couple of times, and it looks just perfect. Look at that. Got all this kokanee off the smoker. The next thing I'm going to do is just break it up all you need to do, first of all, is just peel the skin back, and the bones are the same way. They can just be peeled right off at this point. And I can just put this all in my bowl. I'll just get all of this into the bowl and I'll be ready for tomorrow. Coming up after the break, I visit Miklich and learn about the history of the company and how they make our great seasonings. And later the sandwiches start coming together at the lodge. Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table is brought to you by Worksharp, Miklich, Harrod Outdoors online store. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table. I'm here in Spokane with Joyce at Miklich, and I thought it might be interesting for her to tell me a little bit about where our seasonings are made, the history of this place, and so thanks for spending some time with me, Joyce.
You bet.
Tell me a little bit about the history of this place. How did you come to run this place?
Where do we start?
Yeah.
Mr. Miklich, Gil Miklich, started sometime in the 40s. We don't know exactly what year, and he finally incorporated it, and it was called Tender Treats, and then he changed the name to Gil Miklich Company, and he sold seasonings to my father, who had a meat market in Coeur d'Alene. And of course, I grew up in the back door of the meat market.
Right.
Almost. I mean, the house faced one way and the shop faced the other, so I could run in as a little girl and I knew where the Frankfurters were. I could slide the door open and grab a Frankfurter out of the case. And my father had poor health, was forced to sell his shop, and Gil Miklich wanted to retire, so Gil sold it to my dad, who of course wasn't able to work there. So my brothers ran it for about 20 years and I was still an owner. And so I walked in the door one time and just said, I'm here and I'm going to work here.
Right.
And we settled out they wanted to retire, so we bought the business from them, their shares, and moved to this location.
And that's kind of how I got started in this, is that I just love your seasonings, so we had been making some of our own, and so it was just a natural fit.
That was great, because we sell yours, as you well know.
And you guys do a great job for us. Hi everybody, welcome to the Whitewater Lodge here on the banks of the Wenatchee River, only about a mile or two from my house. This is my buddy Tim's place, and this is our new location for Harrod's Cookhouse. Today we'll make smoked kokanee sandwiches, a fresh garden cucumber salad, new potatoes that are broiled in the oven, peaches and cream for dessert, and to top it all off, we're going to make a peach spritzer. Here's what you'll need for the sandwiches: your smoked kokanee, corn and black beans, lemon juice, mayonnaise, hot sauce, Harrod's Cookhouse lemon and dill seasoning, tomato, cilantro, shredded lettuce, and buns. Of course, yesterday I made the smoked kokanee. I've got all that deboned and broke up here in the bowl. And to start with, I'm adding black beans. This is about a cup, and then some corn. And this is some corn we got at the local market, and I'm going to use that for this fresh sandwich. Here's a little trick for you getting this corn off. Just take a bunt pan, take your corn, put it right there, and you can slice it off. But before I do that, I need to make sure my knife is good and sharp. I'm going to run it through the work sharp. Then we'll go over here to the ceramic. Always important to have a good sharp knife. The nice thing about this is it doesn't go all over the place, because the corn just falls down into the bunt pan, and then you can break it up and put it into your dish. It's real easy, and that goes right into the kokanee. All right, set that aside. Now we want to add some wet ingredients. I'll start by cutting a lemon in half here, and I'm just going to squeeze the juice of a lemon in. The smoked kokanee is very rich, so we're adding some lighter flavors. I'm not going to put as much mayonnaise in here as you might think, because if you make it real wet, like I say, it's so rich. So a little bit of mayonnaise, that's probably about a half a cup. We'll add a little bit more of our lemon and dill season that we used in the smoking process. Let's give it some more flavor. And then lastly, we'll add some hot sauce. Okay, we're just going to mix this around. Once you get it all incorporated, we're just going to stick it in the refrigerator for a while, and then we'll start working on the other components of our sandwiches. Okay, that looks incorporated well. I'm just going to stick this in the refrigerator. Now that I got the smoked kokanee in the refrigerator, I'll prepare some of the toppings. Coming up next, Vicki makes a garden fresh cucumber salad and a peaches and cream cake. It's a beautiful day at the lodge. Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table is brought to you by Worksharp, Micklich, Harrod Outdoors online store. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table.
Let's grab some cucumbers for our salad that we're going to make out at the lodge. Oh, perfect. Here's a great one. Oh, here's another one too. We'll have to decide which one we want to use. We'll grab some basil on the way to the house and we'll be off to the lodge. Pinch it with my fingers. And we've got fresh basil. Okay, we're back from the garden where we picked our cucumber and we got some basil off the patio, and I'm going to put together this salad. Here's what you'll need to make the salad: grape or cherry tomatoes, cucumber, some basil, fresh mozzarella, balsamic vinegar, and olive oil. First thing I do when I cut my cucumbers, I always cut the ends off. I usually cut it in half, and sometimes I peel it and sometimes I don't. I don't think I will this time. I just slice it down like this, slice it again this way, and then I turn the whole thing on its side, little bite-sized pieces of that fresh cucumber. The next thing I do is I get my tomatoes and I just slice those in half. So they're kind of big pieces because you want that good tomato flavor. It's a nice juicy little chunk of tomato in there. The next thing I put in is fresh mozzarella. And I like these kind of loaves of mozzarella because they come pre-sliced. So I just take a few of the slices and I just cut them into not small little chunks, fairly good sized chunks. And then I just break them apart as I put them into the salad bowl. The next thing I do is I put in basil, and I just use the leaves, and the kitchen shears are really good for this. You can just clip off the leaves one by one, and then I clip them into kind of big pieces. I pile them all together, and then I can just go clip right into the salad. I don't make them too small because you want to be able to get that nice, good basil flavor in every bite. And then the last thing I do is I just splash in a little bit of olive oil, and then I add a little balsamic vinegar to add that little acidity, that little tang to the salad, and mix it up. Oh man, that's going to be so fresh and delicious. And it'll go so well with our sandwiches. Okay, this is all done. It needs to go into the refrigerator, and I'll get started on the peaches and cream. Here's what you'll need for that: flour, butter, salt, baking powder, egg, milk, a small box of vanilla pudding, a large can of sliced peaches, 2 packages of cream cheese, sugar, and then some of the juice from the peaches in the can. Okay, let's get started with our peaches and cream. Such a great summertime dessert. I put some flour and some vanilla pudding, baking powder and salt. I'm just going to mix that up just a smidge to get it all incorporated. Then I'm going to add some butter, 1 egg, and some milk. And this kind of makes the base of the peaches and cream dessert. Now that this is all mixed up, I need to get it going into my pre-prepared pan with some cooking spray. so nothing sticks. And this doesn't look like very much, and it's not, but you can spread it out fairly thin. It will rise as it bakes. Spread it out. It is kind of thin, but that's okay. The next thing we do is we take our can of peaches and we just plop those peaches right on here. Now that we have our peaches all arranged, we need to prepare the topping. So I have 2 packages of cream cheese I'm going to whip up. And to the cream cheese, I add sugar and a little cinnamon. And I add that in and I get that well incorporated. The next thing I do to thin it out a little bit is to add 10 tablespoons of that juice from those peaches. I just go plop, and you don't need to spread it out, you just put little plops. It will kind of expand a little bit as it bakes. Okay, I'm done doing the dollops on the top. I put it in a preheated 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes.
Coming up next, I prepare seasoned new potatoes, peach spritzers, and assemble our smoked kokanee sandwiches. It's a wonderful day for an outdoor meal. Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table is brought to you by Worksharp, Micklich, Harrod Outdoors online store. This is Harrod's Cookhouse Field to Table. All right, we're just going to get the last few things of our meal together. I have these colorful little new potatoes. It's really easy. All you do is pour them into a bag, add some olive oil, and you can either use our lemon and dill fish seasoning or the game bird and chicken. We've tried it both ways and we like it. Since we're using the lemon and dill, I'm going to add that today. And this just gives a nice flavor that will complement everything else that we're eating today. You zip this up, mix them around, pour them on the tray, and into the oven they go. Real simple. I'll put these in the oven about 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Now that I have the potatoes in the oven, I'm going to start with the peach spritzer. It's kind of a mouthful. What you'll need for peach spritzer is 2 parts gin to 1 part peach liqueur and peach juice. And we just pour those in the glass. And then any sparkling wine will do. And then we have a fresh peach here. We'll just put inside. Swirl it around. Just like that. This will make for a great sandwich. Now let's go ahead and assemble our sandwiches. So I'll get our ingredients out. All right, I have my smoked kokanee mixture here and my other ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and assemble. Oh, these are going to be so good. So I have my toasted buns here, and what I did was I saved a little bit of the mayonnaise, added some hot sauce, and mixed up some of our seasoning that I'm going to use as a spread for the sandwiches. So I'm just going to put a little bit on each bun, just like that. And then I'm just going to make a little patty with this spatula as best I can and just put it on there just like that. Now again, this is very rich, so it doesn't need to be real thick. On there like that, and now I just add some of these fresh ingredients. Some shredded lettuce, a little bit of the cilantro, and a fresh tomato. Boy, these are going to be good. Look at that. let's go to the table. There's nothing like using fresh ingredients from nature's bounty to make healthful, delicious, homemade meals.
Wow. Wow, that smoked fish is so good.
The memories we made catching these kokanee will last for a lifetime. Pretty nice fish, huh? And the meal we're enjoying will encourage us to return to the water to experience the thrill again and again. And so ends another journey from field to table.